Well, thanks for tuning in to today's show. You know, wintertime has to be the best time of year to go and target sea trout and redfish out on the flats. Not only is the water a little bit chilly, but you have negative tides. And what a negative tide does, it drops the water out off the flat a little bit lower than a normal low. So that concentrates all the fish in the deep pockets on the flats and out on the channels. We're fishing today with Captain Greg DeVault, and it's a pretty chilly day out there on the water. Fishing just north of Tampa Bay, and we're calling this show Anclote Chill. Y'all check this out. It's wintertime, the tides are low, the weather's a little bit nasty. Greg's got us packed up and we're heading to our first spot.
So what do we got here, Greg?
Well, we got obviously this whole area is just a big flat, and there's 2 or 3 troughs out here. When this tide gets real low on these negatives, the fish kind of get pulled into it. And this time of year, especially, you know, when our water temperatures are cold, our trout move up in here. And they get in pretty good sized schools. You know, you could have 1,000 fish in here at times, but
Ooh,
like that. Yeah, they just get in here, and as long as the tide's moving in or out, you know, they're looking to feed, they're looking to eat. So when you get a big number of fish together like that, it becomes a good opportunity for angling.
As soon as you pop one, just talon down and wear it out?
Yeah, just, you know, they move around a little bit. You can, a lot of times you can just talon down and just stay, you know, stay where you're at and they'll come back to you, or you can just move with them as you get the bites. Either way, I mean, they're not real big troughs, so you can cover them in a matter of, you know, a couple hours. You can fish the whole thing as long as you got the right tide.
There's one.
There we go.
So you got to weed through a bunch of them to get the nice ones, or what?
Sometimes, you know, they do just like they do in the, ooh, I just had one too. They do like they do every other time of year. They school to size, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, you know, you'll go along and you'll start catching, you know, those little 15, 16-inch ones like that. And then you'll move up a little bit and you'll be in the bigger fish.
His belly's about as tight as it can be. His scales are almost poking out, he's so full. But that is the targeted species today. We're probably gonna catch about 1,000 of them, because in wintertime, they like to get up off the flat and come in these holes like this, and you can just sit here and whack trout all day long.
Yeah, this one's a little better. He's not a giant, but he's a little better.
So he's got one following him.
Yeah.
Do you think, how many trout have to be in this little trough right here?
You know, at times, I would say there could be thousands.
Yeah.
You know, when the water's really nice and clear, you can literally drift through here and you'll see them, you know, just laying there. And then, like you just said, when you're bringing them in, a lot of times you can see the others following them. And they'll just, you know, they'll chase each other, just trying to get what the other one's got. But they are pretty. So we can grow them up a little bit. We'll find some bigger ones. I'm gonna slide us up about 10 yards, guys. Yeah, so we can cover those holes a little better.
So it's all just sand bottom out here?
For the most part.
A little bit of grass?
There's grass in this hole, and then there's these little sand holes. So there's actually, you know, kind of a hole within the hole here. But for the most part, it's all just, you know, soft bottom. I mean, you tried to walk on most of this, you could walk it, but.
Oh, that was a man. For a trout, he whacked it.
They are getting a little more aggressive now, that's for sure. I think it's, again, when you get in that school,
yeah,
when they go to eat it, they know they better get it or their buddy's going to.
He just feels so good on his 7-2. Come on, let's see your yellow mouth.
No, these haven't come up shaking their head very much.
It's too cold. How many times you ever see me fish with it? Oh, that is
a good one there. Look at that. Whew, there's the ones we're after.
That's the ones we're looking for.
Yeah, it's a pretty fish.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous one there. When they come up and show you that mustard mouth.
He was just saving all the shake until he got here.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you off and I'll let you go. Come on, let it go. I know you like that DOA, but. Ow, he bit me.
Find out what those fang teeth are for?
No, his back one's got me. Come on, dude.
There's enough of them in there. There.
Got him out. The most targeted species in saltwater from Maryland all the way down to the Keys, and then every Gulf state all the way down to Mexico.
For good reason.
For a good reason. They're tasty. You don't want to just overcatch these and freeze them like we were saying, because they just do not freeze well. But as you can see why I call them a mustard mouth.
There's another one.
They have that yellow mouth like that when they get, you know, good size like this. When they come up and start shaking their head, that's all you see. Hey, listen.
Excuse me.
Listen to there. It sounds like an alligator next to me.
I didn't want to bring him in because I think yours was a little bigger, so.
They're about the same size. Nice fish, though.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, these are better fish down here.
But they are fun. Come out and catch trout after trout after trout. And only use one bait.
So far.
So far.
Yeah.
Not many pinfish eating.
No. Oh, I wouldn't be around these trout if I was a pinfish. That would be the next meal. Yeah, pretty fish. Again, like I say, you find, you know, the ones we were catching earlier, you know, 15, 16 inches, and every one was like that. And now these are, you know, 18, 20 inches. Like you said, they move around, they have tails.
There he is. That thing just hit the water.
Nice.
Oh, that feels like a good fish, too. Got a good head shake. Unless I got him hooked in the back.
I did that.
Catch him coming and going.
Yeah, you look like a good one.
Feels like
He
a
rolled
good
up right there a second. He looks long.
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
that is a good one.
That is a nice fish.
Yeah.
Come on there, little dude. Or big dude here.
Yep. That's the one good thing about winter trout is that's probably an average fish right there.
Yeah,
you know, for the most part. Yeah.
That's your average, huh?
Yeah. And you'll get them smaller and you'll get them bigger, but that fish right there, probably 18 to 20 inches, is the ones we see a lot of this time of year. This water's too dirty. That's definitely a few of them, though. It might not be all of them, but I think I see some scattered. Yes, see them up there in the sand too. They're going that way.
Gotcha. What we've got now, guys, we've changed locations. We've come from Anclote out there. It was just getting way too rough, too windy. As you can see, we're in here real close to the mangroves, and it's still blowing 15 miles an hour around us. So I'm gonna try to show you a few redfish. He knows where they live, so we shall see.
We just gotta convince them to come to dinner.
We shall see if they eat. Right there, huh?
Some of them, yeah. Looks like there's still some. They're coming out from underneath. Looks like they're right up in there tight. Look at this one right here. Right here.
How about that?
There you go. I was like, they're right here under us.
He locked that Procure on there. That's all it took. A little bit of Procure.
Nice. A whole bunch of them came right to us. A little red.
Yep. Glad they went the other way.
Yeah, they all went back up that way.
Why do they always run right
They
underneath
always
the
go under the
skeeter?
boat, don't they? Yeah. Nice.
That's a good slot red.
Yeah.
Come here, Mr. Redfish. I don't think we'll get the slam with a snook today because this water's about ice cold.
Probably not. You like that little shrimp, didn't he?
That little 2 3/4 inch shrimp. Get you one of them 2 3/4. Pretty redfish.
Yeah.
Nice and healthy.
Not quite as fat as he would have been if that would have been real.
Oh yeah. Birdie one.
Ooh, cool.
I can do that again.
Well, it looked like most of them went back that way. I said they were all right here. Some of them shot that way, but they usually filter back in there. Like I said, they like that little corner up there. Smelled enough like, oh, there you go.
Ooh, there you go. Dadgummit.
Damn. That put me on a little shrimp. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it just spooked because
Yep.
one had a hook in it.
Yep. There. I need to get this big bait off there.
What we got going on right now is the tide's coming in, and I mean, it is a south wind. He said the south wind rushes the tide in more than anything else. So I'm casting up, and the school's right here, and I'm just barely, all I'm doing is kind of twitching it up and letting the current bring that shrimp. I'm trying to make it look as natural coming down in a high current as possible. Just got to get in front of the right one. So we kind of changed our presentation up a little for the redfish here.
The trout are very much feeding on stuff that's moving around them, and there's a lot of out there there's a lot of shrimp and baits and stuff like that. And up here in the shallow stuff, it's, you know, these reds are very spooky, and they're in a school, so you know it's a lot of eyes looking around. So you want to try and present something that doesn't really intrude on them too much. So like anything, smaller baits, quiet presentation, light line, just let them find it. You know, don't bring it to them, but let them come on to it and let them eat it, rather than trying to force feed them like you do.
Yeah.
You know, like we were the trout basically.
Yeah.
So,
let them think they found it.
they don't. You know, it doesn't blow them out. It doesn't spook them.
Oh, there you go. I saw him about yanked it right out of your hand.
With redfish, it's almost like they've got to find it.
Yeah.
You know, especially school fish.
Especially these fish in clear water.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't find it, they think, you know, something's up. So it's a lot slower. You're just easing it. It's really finesse fishing all the way.
Just waiting for that thump.
Huh?
Just waiting for that thump.
Yeah, a little different type here. Every one of them runs to the boat.
They like looking at the bottom of the skeeter.
They do. They must like something under there. They've all done it.
I got a school of fish underneath there painted on the bottom of the boat.
Is that what it is? They feel comfortable there? These things fight just a little harder than the trout do.
Just a little bit.
Yep. Ooh, that water's chilly. You got a mouthful of shrimp.
Over in the Indian River, a lot of times the redfish will come up and eat your trout.
Yeah. I had, fishing down St. Pete one time, I had the exact opposite thing happen one time. It was a pretty little fish, probably about 23 inches. Yeah, pretty. They're not quite as fat as those trout have been. But I don't think they eat quite as much either. I mean, he flat ate it. Like I said, I haven't been able to get him to eat anything. I haven't been throwing anything like this though either.
Rig It Right, brought to you by Lose.
All right, folks, on today's Rig It Right, I'm going to show you what Captain Greg and I were out there throwing today. We started off throwing the Fiji chicken rigged with a 16th ounce DOA cow head, and this is the DOA 3-inch cow. Everywhere I've thrown this bait right here, I've caught trout on it. Now, Greg was throwing the blue 7.2 that you can get at Dick's. I was throwing the M2. Had them both rigged up with the BW25s. It's a really, really light reel that you can actually fish with all day long. It's so light. And also had it rigged, I was throwing the new Stealth Gray. Seaguar also has come out with a new flash green color that if you have trouble seeing the line and you like to see your line, it's a great high vis line that you can use out there. Also had it rigged with the new Seaguar Gold label, and this is 20-pound test, and I swear it's like fishing with 10-pound test. The diameter of this line is so small, you can use a higher tensile strength pound testage when you're using this stuff because it's so thin in diameter. Later on during the day, We switched over to redfish, and the new 2 3/4 inch shrimp got the job done out there. I love this new lure from DOA. One thing that you'll notice is that the hook system is totally different than any DOA out there. And the reason is when you throw this out there and it sinks to the bottom, it sits perfectly straight up like this. It doesn't tilt over to the sides. That way when you pop it off the bottom again, it doesn't get tangled up on any of the grass down there. Always putting Procure on there. This is the saltwater super gel, and it definitely takes the human scent off your lures and produces more hits. That about wraps up the Rig It Right today. Hope y'all can get out with Greg and go catch you some fish.
Rig It Right, brought to you by Lose.
It's like you gotta shift gears, go from working those jigs to just kind of crawl on these.
It's like the most boring bait that Mark makes, man, is a DOA shrimp, but I've probably caught more fish on it than any other bait he makes.
Yep. I think schooling redfish can be the hardest fish to catch in our water sometimes.
But when they're hungry, you can't get it away from them.
It's yep, without a doubt. You usually figure it out about the first cast. They either run to the hills or they just, it's like a red wave after it. I keep seeing something slide there.
Looks like one's sitting there.
There we go, there we go. He was out a little bit. Man, he just picked it up easy too. He didn't even, it just kind of got heavy.
That's all mine have been doing is getting heavy.
Yeah. Oh, that.
So you're liking that 2 3/4
I like
inch,
it.
huh? It's working.
Well, like I told you earlier, I've been working these fish on and off for the last, couple weeks here, and I haven't been able to get them to hit an artificial. I really haven't. I've tried. We've been able to get them to eat the real thing, but I will say this is probably the closest thing to the real thing that they've seen, and they definitely are liking it, without a doubt. Very nice. Unless it's the same fish, just thinking it over and over, it's going to be real one of these times.
Wanting to hear one of them new BW25 drag systems.
Yep. There we go. That's a cool little bait. That was a little bit longer, not a whole lot. That might be 24 inches. Pretty fish though.
Off he goes, back to the school.
Go find your buddies.
Go back to school, fish.
You know, I get asked all the time about fishing these places that we go to on the show, and I always tell people, make sure you book a local fishing guide because they know where the fish live. Captain Greg today knew right where those fish were going to be at a certain tide and at the certain time of day, the wind conditions. He put it all together and took a spot where we catch fish. And like I say, book a local guide and your fishing chances are going to turn into catching chances when you do that. Don't forget about the website, addictivefishing.com. You can go there and book any guide that we've ever used on the show. They're right there on the site. Want to give a shout out to Bill. That's Greg's What's going on, Bill? That wraps up today's show. We'll see y'all next week.
Oh, that was good.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Check out more footage from this show by logging on to addictivefishing.com for outtakes and bloopers.
There you go. Ooh. Some sensitive line, man. You just feel them looking at it. Fishing with shiners for bass.
Side of the trolling motor. There you go. None better than redfish.
Got an extra spot on him.
Ooh.
Ow!
Sorry about that.
Hey, hit me with the rod next time.
I hit that piece of grass. And